Hey, I'm so glad you're here. If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, ADHD, addiction, or perfectionism, you are in the right place. And let's be honest, who's not dealing with at least one of those things? This is the first video for you to watch in the Better in 6 series. Better in 6, the program that I designed, is to teach you all about managing your thoughts and your feelings, to be mindful of them, and also take ownership over the results you have in your life. But the reason you are the way you are, do the things you do, and act the way you act has everything to do with what's going on up here. So if you're already signed up for the program, that's great. You're on your way, and you'll be getting other videos in this series as our coaching progresses. If you haven't signed up yet, click the link attached to this video to get started. When you watch the videos and do the worksheets that I'm providing you in the course, you'll see much better and faster results than with only doing the coaching with me alone. So in this video, I want to introduce you to what I call the model. The model is something we talk a lot about in coaching, and this is for a reason. The model will show you how you are responsible for all the actions and results in your life. Many times we think other people or situations in life are responsible for the way we feel. For example, we'll say something like, I'm sad because she didn't include me in her group. Okay, or we think other people or situations are responsible for the way we act. Like, I yelled at her because she was yelling at me, and that made me mad. When you learn about the model, you will learn how you can have responsibility over everything you do and feel in life. And why would you want that? Because it feels so good. It feels so good not to blame other people for the way you feel or act. Because when you blame other people for the way you feel or act, you're at their mercy. They have power and control over you and your life. Why would you want that? Wouldn't you rather decide how you want to be, how you want to feel, and feel it on purpose? Decide how you want to show up in the world and do that with intention. When you do this work, you can have total control over how you think, feel, and behave, and ultimately all the results you have in your life, regardless of the circumstances in your life. Are you interested? Okay, stay with me. Think of something, anything that happened recently or in the past that created a strong feeling for you, and I want you to name that feeling. Try to limit it to a one-word answer, okay? Like brave, strong, afraid, crazy, stressed, lonely, something like that. This is really going to help your brain figure out what is going on if you can identify and simplify the feeling into a one-word answer. So surrounding this feeling that you had, you probably have some sort of story in your mind about this feeling. The story is going to sound like a lot of facts and thoughts mixed together. So I'm going to share a real-world example with you from a client and try to apply it to your situation in your life, okay? Because we kind of tend to say and do and think in similar ways as humans. Okay, this is the example. My mother-in-law is sabotaging my diet. She wants me to be fat. She invited us over to dinner for my husband's birthday, and she made us spaghetti, and she knows I'm trying to lose weight, and yet she makes us this huge carb bomb of a dinner. I just don't even want to go over to her house anymore. And the worst part is my husband doesn't even see it. He's totally on her side. So with this story in mind, the client has some strong feelings. Probably something like anger or betrayal or frustration. I think to simplify it, we could go with anger. Now, what would this person do or not do when she's feeling anger? What would you do when you're feeling anger? Maybe she would yell at her mother-in-law, or maybe not talk to her at all. Or maybe she would talk but not make eye contact and not really open up. She's probably talking badly about her mother-in-law to her husband, obviously forcing him to choose sides. Basically, she's preventing herself from showing up as the person she wants to be in this situation, and she thinks it's because her mother-in-law invited her over for spaghetti. And it's simply not true. The reason she's acting this way is from a feeling she's having of anger. Actions always come from feelings that we have. That's why feelings are so important, and when you come to coaching, we talk about them all the time. So she has this feeling because of a thought she has. For this, we can separate out the thoughts from the facts, okay? So what are the facts of this situation? The mother-in-law invited them over to eat. Another fact, she served spaghetti. And another fact, it was her husband's birthday. Everything else is a thought in this story. Thought, she's sabotaging my diet. Thought, she wants me to be fat. Thought, my husband is on her side. Facts are neutral. There's no question about them. They just exist. Everyone has to agree on them for them to be a fact. Thoughts are everything else. If everyone in the entire world would not agree, then it's a thought. This is also a lot of what we do in coaching. Our beliefs that we have are a collection of thoughts we accumulated over time. We can have these beliefs about ourselves, about money, about losing weight, about politics, and they feel so true. My job as a coach is to show you that most of the things you have in your brain are thoughts, which is at the core of what I love about coaching, because we can change our thoughts if we want to. And I'll teach you all about that when you come to coaching with me. And also the next tutorial video is all about managing our mind with our thoughts. So let's go with one fact and one thought from the story, the spaghetti story. A fact, my mother-in-law served spaghetti. A thought, she's sabotaging my diet. Now, how do we know her feeling of anger, remember, is coming from her thought and not from what the mother-in-law served for dinner? Because there are so many other thoughts she could have about her mother-in-law serving spaghetti, other than she's sabotaging my diet. So what else could she be thinking? What about, that's so nice of her to make us dinner, and that might create a feeling of love. What about, spaghetti is my husband's favorite? How thoughtful. Maybe that's a feeling of gratitude. Or she could even be thinking, I hate spaghetti, it's the worst meal ever. And maybe she's disgusted by that. Or she could think, I can't believe we're having spaghetti again. And maybe she's annoyed. Okay? All of these thought-feeling combinations would lead to a different action in her life. Think of what you do when you're feeling love versus feeling annoyance. It's very different. Now, this might seem like a trivial thing for some of you, mother-in-laws and spaghetti, but I want you to think about how situations like this have shown up in your life. How do you handle them? Think of the ones you regret or handled poorly. Why? What was it about you in that moment that you didn't like about yourself? So when you come to your coaching sessions, I'll be helping you find your thoughts that are causing the problem. And here's a hint. It's always your thoughts causing the problem. I know it sounds so hard to believe because we want to blame the news, our mother, our boss, our teacher, but it's always your thoughts, okay? And those thoughts are always creating the feeling, and you always take action because of feeling you have or don't want to have. And all those actions are what create your life, your results in life. What you do, what you weigh, how much money you make, how you treat others. And that's the model. Circumstance, the facts, thought, feeling, action, result. And when you learn this, you'll see everything in your life can fit into the model. This is great news because you see that you can have total control over all of it. No matter your situation and the people in your life, you can choose how you want to think, feel, what you want to do. And it is the best feeling. As always, if you have any questions, write them down. You can always email, send me a message, bring them to your next session with me. I'd love to talk about it with you, and I would love to see how I can help you with your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and ultimately all the results in your life. Have a lovely day and take care.